Double game week 25 team selection. What is up everyone, how's it going? Hope you're keeping well and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. We've got lots to discuss ahead of tomorrow's deadline with the first double game week of the season. We've got an injury to Trent Alexander-Arnold that's going to see him miss out on the double game week completely, so we'll be chatting through his top replacements. We've also got an injury to Pedro Porro that we need to assess ahead of the deadline, and we'll also be discussing whether or not I'm going to play my triple captaincy chip on a certain Norwegian playing up front for Man City. Just before we get into the video, a quick reminder on the charity month on the channel for the month of February. For every new YouTube subscriber, I'll be donating 20 cents to helplink.ie, a mental health charity here in Ireland. So if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button below. You'll be supporting the channel and you'll also giving back to a great cause here in Ireland. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I fared out in Game Week 24, and we'll also be looking at my transfer plans and team selection ahead of Double Game Week 25. Stick around also to the end of the video where I'll be heading to a pitch in County Roscommon for my weekly captaincy video also. Right then, that's the intro out of the way. The double game week is here. Let's get into the video. So a quick look back to Game Week 24. I scored 98 points for the week, which was a monster score for the team. It was also a special week for the team and the channel, as I managed to rank first out of every FPL content creator with my score for the week. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking back fondly on Game Week 24 at the end of the season. I spoke a lot about the Arsenal game in my previous video, but that first half is going to be one I won't forget for a long time. It was a picture perfect game, especially for my team, with two Arsenal defenders, Gabriel and Saliba, both scoring in that first half, and Saka scoring as well in that first half, and then adding another one in that second half. 39 points from my Arsenal trio was absolutely unbelievable. Great return from the three lads, especially those two defenders. After keeping them for a while over the last few weeks, they've definitely paid off, and as I said in my Game Week 23 video, it was a very tough one to take, having Foden on the bench, but thankfully the two Arsenal lads in defence have brought me back up the ranks this week. Moving on to Monday night's game then, I had Cole Palmer up against an injury-stricken Crystal Palace side, but it was a very boring and difficult watch for the first 90 minutes as Palmer was unable to return, but into additional time then, he managed to come away with 2 assists after getting Palace on the break, and he came away with a monster 10-point haul. It's going to be a difficult decision now whether or not to bench him against City this weekend, but we'll speak about that later on in the video. 98 points was what I returned for the week, and that saw me get a massive green arrow, and I'm now sitting at 108k overall. Massive week for the team. Hopefully now we can push on over the next couple of game weeks and get inside the top 100k. As I said, Game Week 24 is going to be a special game week I'm going to remember fondly at the end of the season. That's the game week review out of the way. Let's move on now and have a look at my transfer plans ahead of the double game week with tomorrow's deadline. The double game week dream is over for FPL managers that own Trent Alexander-Arnold after he aggravated his existing knee injury, so he's going to miss out on the Carabao Cup final against Chelsea and definitely the double game week. Shown on screen here are my 3 top replacements for Trent in no particular order. We'll start off from left to right with Liverpool's Conor Bradley and a double game week for Liverpool against Brentford and Luton at home, and priced at 4.1 million, Conor Bradley could be a nice cheap budget enabler to bring into your team this week. He's already got 1 goal and 3 assists in 2 games this season, so crazy stats from the Northern Irish man, so if you are looking for a punt, he could be a nice pick over the double game week. If you are looking to bring in Bradley for Liverpool's double game week, I'd definitely wait until just before the deadline on Saturday afternoon, as we should get some Liverpool team news before the deadline. Keep in mind also the Liverpool blank in Game Week 26, so if you don't have enough players in your team for Game Week 26, I'd recommend avoiding Bradley and focus on my next 2 players. Next up is Sergio Reguilon, just off the back of a 12-point haul in Game Week 24, and with him being on set pieces and priced at 4.4 million, he's not a bad cheap enabler also to bring into your team. He's got a double game week in Game Week 25, albeit not the tastiest one against Liverpool and Man City, but then he also plays up until Game Week 29, so you've got fixtures every week for the Brentford man if you do bring him in. We finish off the trio with Nathan Ake of Man City with a double game week for City, 2 fixtures at home against Chelsea and Brentford. Vardiol is set to be sidelined for Man City for the next couple of weeks, so this should see Ake come into the team and have some secured minutes over the double game week. Don't forget, Man City do have a game in blank Game Week 26, so bringing Ake into your team this week will get you 2 fixtures for the double game week, and then you should also get some minutes against Bournemouth in Game Week 26 with that Vardiol injury. I'm assuming you already have Erling Haaland and Phil Foden in your team, so if you are looking for a third Man City player, I'd definitely focus on getting Kevin De Bruyne into that midfield for your third City asset, but if you can't afford Kevin De Bruyne, Ake is your next man in line. Big news this week was the fact Mohamed Salah returned to Liverpool training after coming back from his hamstring injury that he sustained away with Egypt at the African Cup of Nations. Looking at Salah for the double game week, will I be bringing him into my team this week? The short answer is no. I can't get to Salah without taking a hit, so I don't want to rip up my team to bring in Salah, especially when there's uncertainty around his minutes over the double game week. If I have to predict Salah's minutes over the double, I'd be expecting a sub appearance against Brentford in the early kickoff, and then potentially a start against Luton in the midweek game just before the Carabao Cup final, or he may not even be risked at all over the double game week. Let's see what Klopp says later on today in Liverpool's press conference. If you are thinking about bringing in Mo Salah and you do have the funds available, I'd definitely wait until just before the deadline on Saturday afternoon, as we should get some Liverpool team news before the deadline. Looking at the clean sheet odds ahead of the double game week, there's no surprise to see Man City and Liverpool top the charts for the chance of a clean sheet with their 2 fixtures over the double. Looking at my own team, it's decent viewing as Arsenal ranked 3rd for the chance of a clean sheet with their away fixture against Burnley. I've got Gabriel and Saliba coming off the back of a 12-point haul each in game week 24, so all I'm hoping for is a clean sheet in that Burnley game at the weekend. Looking at my 3rd defender slot, I'm going to have a bit of a headache on who I'm going to play out of Pedro Porro or Estepinian. Looking at Brighton, they're ranked inside the top 5 for the chance of a clean sheet with their away fixture against Sheffield United this weekend. Spurs ranking 6 just behind them however, and they do have that home fixture. Pedro Porro missed out on training yesterday with a muscular injury, so we're going to have to wait for Ange's press conference later on today, and hopefully we'll get a clear indication on how fit Pedro Porro is for the weekend. Right then, a quick look at predicted points ahead of the double game week. Who else but Erling Haaland with a predicted point score of 15.8 points with Man City's 2 fixtures, so we'll hopefully see some good returns from the big man over the 2 fixtures. Looking at the rest of the top 10 for predicted points, there's no surprise to see it's heavily focused on Man City and Liverpool players with their double game week fixtures. Adebayo of Luton Town just makes it inside the top 10 at number 10, so if you are looking for a differential to focus for the double game week, he could be a decent pick. Looking at predicted points ahead of the double game week in relation to my own team, it's decent viewing as currently 4 of the top 10 are all in my team at the moment, and it'll soon be 5 with my transfer plans later on in the video. Fingers crossed for some good returns over the weekend, and hopefully we'll get a monster score over the double game week. Here's how I'm currently lining up ahead of tomorrow's deadline. 1 free transfer to use also in the back pocket and 4.9 million in the bank. A lot of money to play around with, so I've got a few decisions on how I'm going to use my transfer. Focusing on the double game week for the moment, I'm in decent shape with 4 double game week players, 2 from Man City and 2 from Liverpool, and I'll probably be looking to add an additional double game week player to make it 5 ahead of the weekend. Looking at the rest of the team ahead of tomorrow's deadline, I'm pretty happy with how I'm lining out so far. I probably have got 1 or potentially 2 benching headaches. First off, in the fence between Pedro Porro and Estepinian, I'm going to have to wait until Ange's press conference later on today for an update on Pedro Porro's fitness. If it sounds like Porro isn't going to start that Wolves game, I can easily just sub in Estepinian as he's got a decent fixture away to Sheffield United also. My second benching headache is between Cole Palmer and Dominic Solanke. I've Cole Palmer on the bench as of now. He's up against Man City at the weekend, his former team, so he'll be raring to impress at the Etihad this weekend. I might have to rethink it because, to be honest, it feels pretty wrong benching Cole Palmer, especially he's off the back of that 10-point haul in game week 24. But as of now, Solanke gets the start. He's up against a Newcastle defence who've been pretty leaky over the last couple of weeks, so it is a game I think Dominic Solanke can score in. I do have the Bravke in my starting 11 just because he does have that home fixture. Areola's on the bench away to Forest, and West Ham are just off the back of conceding 6 against Arsenal, so that's why the Bravke gets the start in goals. Hopefully the Bravke can get some save points, or if Solanke doesn't score, hopefully the Bravke can get that clean sheet, but fingers crossed one of them will return either way. That's how I'm currently lining up. Let's move on now and have a look at my transfer plans ahead of the double game week. Look at my transfer plans ahead of tomorrow's deadline. I've got 1 free transfer to use and 4.9 million in the bank, so I've got enough money available to take out Anthony Gordon and bring in Kevin De Bruyne to tack those 2 City fixtures with my free transfer. De Bruyne is just off the back of scoring once and assisting twice in the midweek Champions League game, so fingers crossed you can get some consistent minutes over the double game weeks, and hopefully we'll see some similar returns. That's the transfer plans out of the way. Let's move on now and have a look at my captaincy pick ahead of the double game week.
Haaland for the Ironman.
Yeah, with the double game week for Man City, there's no surprise to see I'll be giving the armband and the triple captaincy to Erling Haaland. 2 fixtures, both at home over the course of the double game week, so fingers crossed for some good returns and hopefully a monster haul. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit a like goal of 80 likes on this video. Quick reminder also of the charity month on the channel. For every new YouTube subscriber, I'll be donating 20 cents to helplink.ie, a mental health charity here in Ireland. So if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, Please do hit that subscribe button below. You'll be supporting the channel massively, and you'll also be giving back to a great cause. I've got a special announcement also, as FPL Focal will be joining me tonight, the 16th of February at 7 PM for a pre-deadline stream ahead of tomorrow's deadline. We've got lots to discuss between double game weeks, chip strategies, and how we're going to navigate through the blank game weeks, so do join us for that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.